On this week's show, we'll cover nearly 100 years of racing at the 27th Annual Vintage Festival at Lime Rock Park in Connecticut. A 1.5-mile track, Lime Rock is also home to Grand Am, American Le Mans, and NASCAR Series races. Every Labor Day weekend, the park is filled with vintage race cars. We'll take you into the pits and onto the track. And you'll see a priceless Mercedes that hasn't been on the track for 70 years. The thrill of victory, the agony of defeat. Today on Cruisin' New England.
We're ranked in the top 10 nationally and going for number 1.
McMokin Chevrolet is one of the largest dealers of new and pre-owned Corvettes in the country, with over 50 Corvettes, including the ZR1 in stock and ready for immediate delivery. In the pursuit of your sports car, make it the true American sports car, the Corvette. Or maybe it's the brand new 2010 Camaro. If it's new, pre-owned, or hard to find, McMokin Chevrolet is your dealer.
Call today and experience why. McMokin Chevrolet.
The Thompson Auto Group.
Hi, I'm Jim Grundy, president of Grundy Worldwide Collector Car Insurance. We've been in the business of insuring collector cars since 1947, and we've learned that what collectors need is agreed value coverage at incredibly low rates. So for legendary service, superior coverage, all at a substantial savings, call Grundy Worldwide or visit us online.
Intercity Lines Incorporated, America's premier enclosed auto transporter, providing enclosed transport throughout the United States. Call 800-221-3936 or visit us on the web.
Cruisin' New England magazine. Plan your cruise and car show season. Subscribe today at cruisingnewengland.com or call 508-428-8055.
Imperial Worldwide insulation vinyl siding, copper and seamless aluminum gutters, closet-made shelving systems, and zero clearance fireplaces. We strive to make the building process easy and fun.
Garage Storage Cabinets of Northern New England offers premier services in custom storage, organizer, and flooring systems for residential and light commercial spaces, specializing in garages, basements, and workrooms. If you are a discriminating person who views your garage or workspace as an extension of your home, you will be absolutely delighted with our products and individualized services. We are a New England family-owned and operated business, so take the next step. To schedule your in-home consultation and pricing, call us today. Welcome back to Lime Rock Park and the 27th Annual Vintage Festival. Throughout the day, different era models compete in 20 to 40 lap races. Murray Smith is chairman of the Vintage Festival. Smith has organized other events like this throughout the world.
How does Lime Rock Park fit in with all the other events throughout the world, actually?
Well, historic or vintage racing events have taken off in the last few years. Immediately after the war, you know, some of these fantastic earlier cars were sitting around in barns where they would still be today if someone hadn't said, let's get these cars out and do what they were supposed to do, which is run them on racetracks or even on the street, rallies, whatever. And so the VSCCA, the Vintage Sports Car Club of America, who are involved here, got that going here. Same thing in the UK, various clubs.
Now, these races, don't you think they're keeping the history alive of automobiles?
Well, I think, you know, it allows people to realize that, you know, that everything's not of today. I mean, some of the cars here are going faster than the current race cars. I think it allows the younger generation to see the history, things that are, you know, we've got some very historic cars here. That there's I'm just looking over your shoulder at an Aston Martin down there, 17 TVX. That's one of 2 lightweight cars like that made, only 2. And it was driven by really great drivers like Jimmy Clark, Innes Ireland, all those people drove that thing in major sports car roads of the day. So while some people walk by and not know the difference between the red thing and the green one, those who really want to know will come and say, my God, that's Jimmy Clark's Aston Martin. So there is a considerable amount of sort of living residual history in a lot of these cars because they were driven in great races by very good drivers.
center of every race is a place where it all begins and ends. This is where you'll find the Chief of Flagging and Communication.
Okay, the sequence of things that we have to get done, the first thing that has to happen is we have to have the pace car out of the way. So we wait till the pace car is in the pits. If the cars are in a nice 2x2 lineup, we wave them a green flag.
So I get the chance of a lifetime. I do
Chance of
the
a
figure eight
lifetime.
and hope that I don't drop the flag. I see
Wait
the
a
pace
second,
car
wait
coming
a
in.
second. Yes, 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 yes.
Until the officials on the track signaled an accident.
So here we are now. We have a spin out on the turn. What do you think happened down around that corner?
The white car looks like he's blown his engine or his radiator, and that's what's putting the other cars off.
Now, you think there's any oil on the track now?
Yeah.
So that could become a major problem,
Yeah,
right?
we're going full course yellow.
Now, for this to be an official race, does it have to go the whole 20
It
laps?
has to go halfway at least.
So you've done the 10 laps.
Right.
So it's an official race?
Yeah.
The track is cleared quickly and they're ready to race again.
Okay, we're going to go green.
Shit, I'm going back to doing green here after this delay.
Right ahead.
Do it now, do it now.
Restart.
One thing that we do here that's different from any other race you'll see, this local vintage club has a tradition started by one of their previous starters. In fact, there's a plaque here for him right here on the stand. For the last lap, instead of showing a white flag, we show a hangman's noose. And the symbol is hang in there one more lap.
Wow, there's the noose that we just heard about. So now what are we coming up to the victory?
Yeah,
the
now we're
victory
coming up
lap
to the
here.
checker.
Okay, I get to do the checker flag too? Wow, what an honor. All right.
You're going to drop it on 5-4. It's a red with white stripe.
5-4 it will be. Wow, here we go. We're waiting for vehicle number 54. It looks like if he comes around the corner okay, he's going to be the winner of the 50s vintage race.
Flagging a race car is like being a traffic cop with cars driving 100 miles per hour. There's also another benefit.
Well, this is where you get your exercise. You have to wait for everybody to go by now.
That's fine. I saw the other gentleman earlier. I thought his arm was going to drop.
We'll be back after every car crosses the finish line with more from the Vintage Fest. Next up, close and personal with a 1959 Aston Martin and a field of early 60s Minis, Triumphs, and Alfa Romeos.
Now what?
There's only one place to go, Modern Auto Body. We'll estimate the damage and assist with the insurance paperwork. Your vehicle's frame is laser checked to ensure exact alignment. Repairs are performed by I-CAR and ASC certified technicians using OEM parts. A computerized system analyzes existing paint color and formulates an exact match. Modern's temperature-controlled bake booth then hardens the finish. Upon completion, your vehicle will be in perfect pre-accident condition.
Cruisin' New England Productions advertising and sponsorship opportunities. Cruisin' New England magazine has been updating auto enthusiasts with event information and special features for over 15 years. Cruisin' New England, the Fun Car Show series, includes the Elite Dream Machines at Mohegan Sun, the All Wheels Nationals on Cape Cod, the Super Wheel Showdown on City Hall Plaza, Boston, and the Spooktacular Cruisin' Classic. Cruisin' New England with Paul Manette on Nesson showcases magnificent collections of automobiles, memorabilia, collectibles, cruise night, and car show segments. For more information, call 508-428-8055.
Vintage Auto Sales, specializing in brass era and classic automobiles from 1910 through the 1940s. Totally and partially restored vehicles, vintage motorcycles, and parts. Check out our website.
Coker Tire Company offers vintage tires for collector vehicles from the late 1890s through the mid-1970s. Call today at 1-800-251-6336 or visit online at cokertire.com. BASF, the chemical company, leading supplier of automotive custom paint finishes, featuring 12 new custom colors created by Chip Foose exclusively through BASF. Distributor information at www.basfrefinish.com.
Intercity Lines Incorporated is America's premier enclosed auto transporter with service to all 48 states. Intercities features 53-foot air ride trailers equipped with lift gates for level loading of all vehicles. Intercities drivers are the most experienced in the auto transport business and treat each car as if it was their own. Intercity provides transport services for car owners, auto manufacturers, dealers, museums, auto auctions, concours, and racing events. Call us toll-free or visit our website. We're back at the Vintage Festival at Lime Rock Park. Most of us won't get a chance to compete in a vintage race, so we're going to bring you the next best thing when we follow Jim Freeman, owner of a 1959 Aston Martin. He raced in 60 and 61 as part of the Lotus team. Jim has raced this car more than 175 times with 96 podium finishes.
Lime Rock is a special track for me because it's one of the first places that I've ever driven. I've always enjoyed the track.
After leaving the pits, all racers line up in an area known as the grids. When everyone's in the corral, they are waved out onto the course for a warm-up lap. The pace car heads for the pits, and the race is on. Jim was in the lead for the first 4 laps, but when he slips into another gear, something just doesn't sound right.
We got off to a good start this morning because we were on the pole. Being on the pole means you're first. Around the 3rd lap or 4th lap when we were running first, all of a sudden I started to feel a vibration, and it turned out I lost a tooth in the 3rd gear. And when you lose a tooth in the 3rd gear or in any gear, it starts to get lost in with all the other gears. And before, I put it into 4th, and I was still running first, but I decided I'd sort of bring it in because it was making god-awful noise. The 3rd gear broke.
Those are the brakes. After 96 podium finishes, I'm sure Jim Freeman has a lot more successful races in his future. As we go to break, take a look inside this Datsun 510. Tom Brown of the Vintage Racing Services team from Stratford, Connecticut, competes in the combined sports road cars and sedans race. Come back, we'll look at a vintage race car worth millions of dollars.
The car is incredible.
It's the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Welcome to the Town Fair Tire Recognition Award Series. Each week we're going to be giving away an award and recognize a classic car owner throughout New England. I'm here with Jim Giuliano. He's the Vice President of Marketing and Advertising for Town Fair Tire.
Paul, Town Fair Tire is a proud sponsor of the Recognition Award Series. At the end of the series, we're going to have a Town Fair Tire Choice Award winner for the $500 gift certificate.
It's going to be very exciting.
Jim, I want to introduce you to David Lasciardi Jr. He's the owner of this 2008 Scion.
Dave, you have a great looking vehicle here. Tell us a little bit about it.
It's 2008 Scion XB, 16-valve air suspension in it. It's all been custom. I have drifting conic rims on there, 5 TVs, and it's custom airbrushed.
It's a great looking vehicle. On behalf of Town Fair Tire and Cruising New England magazine, I'd like to present you with your award and a gift certificate from Town Fair Tire.
Get to Town Fair Tire. You always get free mounting, free flat repair, free tire rotation, free snow tire changeover. Drive with confidence. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Town Fair Tire.
Cruising New England is at Limemark Park in Connecticut for the 27th Annual Vintage Festival. Each year there are special guests, and this year's no exception. Vic Elford, or Quick Vic, made a name for himself in the 1960s for his speed and versatility. He raced Formula One, Can-Am, Trans Am, and off-road. A European rally champion, he also set lap records at tracks like Daytona, Sebring, and Monza. He drove for at least a dozen teams, including Ford, Triumph, Ferrari, and Porsche.
A lot of people say you are the most versatile, all-around race car driver in the history of the sport. How do you feel about that?
I drove in Formula One as well. In fact, my very first Formula One race, although I was driving the worst, slowest car in the field and qualified last because it rained on the race day, I finished 4th overall. And in the States, I came here quite a lot and drove in Can-Am and Trans Am, and I'm one of the very few Europeans who actually drove in NASCAR as well. I did the Daytona 500 a couple of times, finishing 10th and 11th, something like that.
It's got to be different though, driving one type of car to another type of car. Maybe you can give us a little example of the difference between them.
It's totally different. You know, the first time I came to America, the week before coming to America the first time, I had won the Monte Carlo Rally in a Porsche 911. And rallies, particularly winter rallies in Europe, as some of your viewers might know, are in the snow and ice up in the French mountains, and driving in a 911, which was not the easiest car in the world to drive in those days. The car is totally sideways the entire time. And then a week later I came to America, my first ever trip to America, and I won the 24 Hours of Daytona, which is totally different because the car has to remain absolutely glued to the track. It's like it runs on rails. If you get sideways at Daytona, the chances are you're going to crash. So it's totally, totally different.
We promised you a priceless car, and judging by the crowd, word had spread about the legendary Mercedes Silver Arrow. It's here at the Vintage Festival to run its first laps in 70 years. The car raced for the first time on the same day that war was declared in Europe, September 3rd, 1939. It was sent to Czechoslovakia for safekeeping during the war. The Mercedes has just completed a restoration by Paul Russell and Company of Essex, Massachusetts. Scott George is the president and curator of the Collier Collection, owner of the Silver Arrow. The Collier Collection owns some of the finest examples of vintage sports cars, some of which they brought to Lime Rock.
This was, again, one of the most sophisticated cars built, not only from the engine standpoint, but even overall chassis. It is a dual-stage supercharger car. It has two superchargers. One supercharger feeds another, almost 500 horsepower at 8,000 RPM. And it ran on a methanol mix of fuel. We today are running it on methanol, acetone, and nitromethane, which is still volatile but a bit safer than what they ran on in the day. It is a 5-speed gearbox. It's got a shift lever on the right-hand side. It's got a transaxle in the back. The engine's up front. You cannot see the transaxle. It's up under the body, but it's for equal weight distribution. They kept the transaxle in the back. It's got what they call a de Dion rear suspension tube, which is this that goes across and ties the car together. You see the big drum brakes, as big of brakes as they could fit in under the wheel.
The Silver Arrow is capable of reaching 180 miles per hour. How will it run after 70 years? Murray Smith is about to find out.
It's an incredible honor. I mean, 4 people have driven this car since 1939. It's just an exceptional thing to do. I mean, it's not just the money that the thing's worth, it's the fact that you can't replicate this reality. It's a real thing. I think it's great to have cars in museums, but he gets the cars out and lets them run. The noise it makes is absolutely extraordinary.
Is this in a category of priceless?
Absolutely. It would be very hard to put a price on something like this. I mean, it's so privileged for us to be out here running it today. You don't know what it's like. We may not run it again for a couple of years.
When we come back, we'll meet 2 very different drivers who return every year to the Vintage Fest.
Tired of waiting for delivery of your classic car parts? You need NPD. National Parts Depot continues to be the nation's leading source for quality restoration parts and supplies for Ford Truck, Mustang, Camaro, Chevelle, and Firebird. With 4 strategically located superstores, you'll find everything you need shipped to your door within 1 to 3 business days. For your free catalog, visit NPD online or call toll-free. Don't be the last guy on the block to get your ride rolling. NPD takes the frustration out of restoration.
Barrett-Jackson Auction Company is the world's greatest collector car auctions. Please visit the website at barrett-jackson.com to learn more about bidding, consigning, or attending the event.
Eggy Machine Company provides vintage domestic engine components for the nostalgic automotive enthusiast. We manufacture our pistons in Southern California with old-school craftsmanship and modern technology. Visit Eggy.com. Ron's Auto Restoration and Sales, professional Corvette restorers for 25 years, specializing in early and mid-year Corvettes with mechanical and cosmetic upgrades for all years right up to the new C6. Call us at 800-524-6195 for all your Corvette needs.
Find out more about Cruisin' New England Productions, our television show, car show series, and magazine. Visit our website at www.cruisingNewEngland.com. The Lars Anderson Auto Museum in Brookline, Massachusetts is the oldest car museum in New England. Open year-round, the museum hosts lawn events, lectures, and a variety of exhibits. Visit larsanderson.org.
The best mobile DJ entertainment for your next event. GaryJamesShow.com or 800-726-4216. Gary James Show from WMEX. Cruisin' New England Productions advertising and sponsorship opportunities. Cruisin' New England magazine has been updating auto enthusiasts with event information and special features for over 15 years. Cruisin' New England, the Fun Car Show series includes the Elite Dream Machines at Mohegan Sun, the All Wheels Nationals on Cape Cod, the Super Wheel Showdown on City Hall Plaza, Boston, and the Spooktacular Cruisin' Classic. Cruisin' New England with Paul Manette on Nesson showcases magnificent collections of automobiles, memorabilia, collectibles, cruise night, and car show segments. For more information, call 508-428-8055.
We're back at the Vintage Fest at Lime Rock Park in Connecticut. Many of the drivers are part of a vintage racing team, but not all. Dave and Alice Belden brought their 55 Lotus Mark 9 to Lime Rock Park on their own. Only 25 of these cars were built, and in their day, they were very successful in reaching the podium.
I bought it in about 1980, completely disassembled. Well, I sat on it for about 20 years because I just had other cars and I was working. I retired 10 years ago and finally started to put the car together and got it together after a couple of years. And I've been racing it 5-6 times a year with pretty good success. Don't drive as well as I once did, so having an easy car is a good thing. I've been doing this 42 years, 43 years now, and so it's not always with vintage cars, but with sports cars, and so it's a wonderful thing.
Duncan Dayton is one of those race drivers who are comfortable in the world of vintage and modern race cars. His Patron Highcroft racing team competes in the American Le Mans Series. Duncan is racing today in a 30-lap race with 70 sports race cars. Duncan drove to this Vintage Fest in another classic vehicle.
I've been admiring this car all day long, and I didn't know that it belonged to you. This is a beautiful 74 Mercedes-Benz convertible. Where'd you get it?
Well, it's a funny story, actually. I had through a dealer friend, found a very clean example, this car in California. It didn't look like this because we restored it, but I didn't know who owned the car. Wired the money to an account. They FedExed the title. The title came back signed by Arnold Schwarzenegger.
It's race time, and Duncan heads out to the track.
To Lime Rock. What's the charm about it?
Well, first of all, Lime Rock Park is one of the classic road racing courses in America. It's been around for 50 years. Skip Barber and his crew have done just an amazing job resurfacing the track. It's super smooth. It's a great park-like setting. There's no actual bleachers here, so the fans just drop a blanket on the hillside, bring a cooler full of food and drinks, and have a wonderful day. It really is a park-like setting, and it's got great history, and it's a great racing environment.
Duncan's race team had a championship season in the American Le Mans Series. He had a good showing at the Vintage Fest, too, running fourth in his race. There are more than 20 competitive races at Vintage Fest. At the end of the day, each team loads their cars back into their 18-wheelers and vans. Of course, they all plan to be back here again next year.